Hello and welcome to the Vicar's Wife's Frugal Life Mind Over Money Matters Day 5. Today we are gonna cash envelope like grandma. Yeah. What is this cash envelope system? Is it some sort of financial wizardry I do not yet understand? No, it is quite literally what it sounds like. It is a system where you use envelopes with cash in them to control your variable spending, to stop you overspending in certain categories that might get out of control. Step 1 of the cash envelope system. Taking the budget that you've been working on, I want you to have a look at your variable spending and your optional expenses. So have a look at things like groceries, eating out, fun money, cinema, theatre tickets, anything that you pay for in person. I don't want you to cash out things that you pay for by direct debit or standing order. We're going to keep that money in your account so that it's all automated and you don't have to think about it too much. But things like groceries, maybe petrol money, if you have an Oyster card or anything like that, I want you to look in your budget, highlight those things that you can cash out, and I want you to take the money out of the bank. Okay, we'll talk later about whether you're going to do it weekly, bi-weekly, monthly or paycheck by paycheck. We'll talk about that later. But at the moment, I just want you to identify those things. Another way to identify the things in your personal budget that are things that you should possibly cash out and use a cash envelope system for, have a look at each line in your budget and think about spaces that you might overspend. So do you overspend on Pret sandwiches? Do you overspend on clothes? Do you overspend on dog treats? I don't know, it's going to be different for you and it's going to be different for a Joe Blogs down the road. Step 1 is really just identifying the areas in your budget that you are liable to overspend on and where the spending might be variable from month to month. So anything from groceries, clothes, dog treats, goodness knows, your budget will be different to mine, but have a think about where the money might go up and down each month, and also have a good hard think on each line item where you as a person, as an individual or as a family are liable to overspend. That is step 1. Step 2, add up all the money that you've highlighted, all the variable expenses and optional expenses that may go up and down, add them all up and take that money out of the bank. That's all we're going to do. That's all it is. Step 3, you're going to take your envelopes and you're going to write on your categories. Dog treats. Ooh. Oh, the dog's just looked up. He's like, treat? I'd love a treat. I would really like that. So write on the categories. It's up to you how you store these. Obviously, if you're totally broke, please don't go out and buy a new fancy purse or accordion file or whatever. Just use what you already have around the house. If that is old envelopes, then that'll work. And you can keep them in a carrier bag for all I care. Just make sure you're not going out and spending money on things you don't need. So if you do have a couple of quid to spare, I use one of these little accordion files that I've put the title on. I've done this before in one of my other videos, and I just pop the envelope in there. I put in my envelopes in my file, putting my envelopes in my file, because no one likes to overspend. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, I'm just trying to kill time. So you've got your cash envelopes stuffed. Now you have immediate feedback every time you open them on how much money you have left in that budget line item. If I open up my wallet and I'm looking to spend money at the supermarket, I know exactly how much money I've got left for groceries until the end of the month or the end of your budget period. So let's go through some pros and cons of this cash envelope system and also some tips. Let's start with the positive things. So let's have a look at the pros. One of the massive pros is that it's way more painful to spend cash. I can't remember the exact number, but I'm going to post it on this video when I publish it. You are far more likely as a human being to overspend when you're using a credit card or a debit card than you are to when you use cold, hard cash. It's way more painful to hand over actual money. Oh, take my hard-earned money and now it's gone, poof, gone. The second pro is that you don't get that annoying pending sign in your bank account. Either the money's in your hands or it's out of your hands. There's none of this spending money and then waiting a week for it actually to come out of your account. It doesn't happen, you've already cashed it up. Woohoo! Final massive thing is that it's really good if you have any anxiety around money and if money can make you panic. I know it gives me massive anxiety and used to make me panic on a regular basis. When you are in this queue at the supermarket, I spent a lot of time in the supermarket today. When you're in the queue at the supermarket, you don't have to worry that your card's going to get declined. Either you've got the money or you don't. And if you've miscalculated when you're going around the shop with your little calculator on your phone and you've actually taken too many products, then some of the stuff just has to go back onto the shelves. People in supermarkets are used to people not having enough money to pay for things, so don't be embarrassed, do it with confidence. I do it all the time. No, we will not be eating blueberries today, for I miscalculated and blueberries are not in the budget. Take the blueberries away. There are worse things, and overspending all the time is way more embarrassing in the long run because you're not in control of your finances and it will give you anxiety and it'll be awful. And just put the stuff back on the shelf. Trust me, the embarrassment will be fleeting. Negatives. Now there's only one real negative, and that is that you could get robbed or lose the money. Now hear me out on this. I know it's a real fear for some people, but think about how much you overspend on a monthly, a weekly or a yearly basis. Have a think about that number. Now think about the likelihood of how often you would get robbed. Let's say that all your money got stolen on the first day that you'd cashed it out. At my peak of cashing out my cash envelopes, I had £600 to £800 in there of variable spending. So if that got stolen from me once a year, then that would have been £800. I'm going to tell you now that before I used a cash envelope system, I definitely overspent by way more than £600 to £800. My overspend was crazy. Financially, you're probably actually better off getting robbed once a year or even twice a year than you are using your credit cards and debit cards and overspending all the time. You're probably actually going to end up with more money. And the chances are, if you look after it, you won't lose it. And if you don't flaunt it around the place and you keep it in a zipped bag on your person, then it won't get robbed. Hopefully, there are no guarantees. I hope no one bagels you. So let's share some top tips now about your cash envelope system. My number one tip is that you don't need to keep all the money on you all the time. If you're going out clubbing, then don't take your grocery money and your petrol money with you. Just take your going out and having fun money. Otherwise, you'll be like me in a bar, a few drinks down. Who needs petrol to take the kids to school in the car? Let's have tequila shots for all my new friends at the bar. Okay, so that's why I don't take all my money out with me. Oh, my ears keep popping out of this scarf. Does anyone else have giant ears? I swear, if it really came to it, I could probably flap my ears and fly away because they're giants. Second tip is that you can create extra envelopes for extra line items that may be seasonal. So for instance, your Christmas, when you've saved up all your money for Christmas, you can cash it out and put it in one or a few envelopes. Say you have one for food and one for presents. So that's a really good way to keep track of that spending. Once it's gone, it's gone. When we go on holiday, we actually like to use pencil cases. So we put a few days' money in one pencil case, the next few days' money in another pencil case, and so on and so forth. That way, we try and keep it under whatever it is in the pencil case. So it means when we get to the end of the holiday, we're not doing that thing that we used to do in taking money out on a credit card or overspending when we're abroad, because actually all the money is already there to go. You don't even have to get all your money out at once. You can just have a small amount of money in that wallet and you know that's your budget for that day or that few days. It's a really good system for when you're on holiday. I highly recommend it because no one wants to run out of money by the end of their holiday and not be able to go out for that nice meal or get that weird tattoo that you're going to regret the next day. If you are in a couple, then it's really nice to have money that is just yours and you're not accountable to anyone for it. I really recommend that you cash out some pocket money envelopes. The Vicar and I both do this. This month we've literally got £25 each that is ours to spend and we're not accountable to anyone for it. Now, some of this, of course, you might want to spend online. So my top tip would be to open a separate account. You can use a Monzo account or even one of those sort of prepaid credit cards. You can't overspend on one of those. And then you just use that card for your online spending. And it has a small amount of money that you top up once a month or once every 2 weeks, however long you've decided that your budget is going to be. So that's a really good tip. Highly, highly recommend that. Of course, you don't just need to do that if you're in a couple, you can do it as a single person because you do not need a man, a woman or a non-binary person to complete you. You are a whole beautiful being in and of yourself. But that's a really good way to keep track of your online spending. I really realise that a lot of us buy a lot of things online nowadays and you probably don't want to use one of your cash envelopes and post it off to Amazon to see if they're going to send you that, I don't know, new computer game or whatever you've been harking after. If you're going to take that to an extreme, obviously you could use no cash envelopes and you could use separate debit cards and put a sticky note on each debit card and transfer the money into those current accounts each month. That is something I have tried, doesn't massively work for us, I've got to say, but you've got to find out what works for you and you could use a debit envelope system, I guess. That might work for you. Who knows? Finally, if you're feeling nervous about this, remember you don't have to do this for a whole month's worth of cash. You could do it for just 1 week or once every fortnight, for example. Don't worry about it too much at all. Give the cash envelope system a try. If you're in the middle of the month and you're worried about that you haven't got a perfect month's worth of expenses, cash envelope system is a really great thing to get started with. If you're finding the budget intimidating already, you can keep working on that quietly in the background, but have a go at taking out a small amount of money that you're going to spend on groceries and really sticking to that amount of money. I promise you it will help you budget and reach your financial goals. If you like this video, please give me a big old thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, pop them in the box below. And please subscribe now so you don't miss any notifications for this Mind Over Money Matters course. Can't even say it there. Mind Over Money Matters. Many M's. If you are in crisis and you need professional help, there are a number of charities that I have left the links to down below. Also, the Samaritans are ready and there to speak to you 24/7, 365 days a year. Actually, it's 366 days a year because it's a leap year. They're there for an extra day for you this year. Please, their number is 116123 and that's Freephone, and apparently it won't come up on your phone bill either. So please know that there are people out there that can help you. I will see you tomorrow for day 6. If you have any suggestions or you're feeling panicked about any areas, please get in touch and I'll do my best to help. My final parting note is that you should get stuffed with a cash envelope.